Well, good morning. Well, it's actually afternoon, but God, I really need to get here. Sorry. um, so the last 3 days, I started sometime Wednesday evening or Thursday evening, I think, and most of all day yesterday. Which, if you're following along, you probably noticed because I did like a 1 minute video at the end of the night when I realized that I had forgot to do a video. But so I spent several hours yesterday and several hours this morning finishing up an Android developers app provided by Google. Not app, but Android Android app developers course supplied by Google through a company where you can get what they call nano degrees, which I've done in several different aspects of. I never. I'm kind of, I probably should put some effort into actually getting the certificates or the little nano degrees. But I like to go through these courses more for the content. So I tend to just kind of, fly through them and use them to reference, when I need to get back and study something a little more in depth. Because what I like doing is the whole project and not just certain things like the programming or I love the system architecture of things. So I blew through that course. It's supposed to be like a 6 week course, but like I said, I didn't do any of the uh, um, material or the task or stuff like that, homework. Just blew through the course, and so now I'm finished with that, and it's very interesting. I love the Android system and how they built that and the framework and how it works. Um, it's very it's compared to like some of the other operating systems, its main focus seems to be uh, efficiency and using limited resources the best way possible, and I really like that architecture. So I am going to start working on kind of putting the groundwork for the app that I wanted to work on as kind of a um, intro into it for myself, and also something I could use to show people through my prototyping that not only can I do the electrical and mechanical side of things, but have a little something in my portfolio showing the software side of things, which I you know I love software programming, but it's one of the more harder things for me to do with my dystonia, just because for the people that are familiar with programming, it's a lot of short words, not nothing. I mean, a well-designed code is almost readable if you know what you're reading, like almost like blah blah blah, do this, do this, do this. But at the same time, it's not something that you can just speak in a speech-to-text type software. So hand coding that is really hard on my dystonia. But it is one of the things that I like a little bit more than some of the other things, just because of all the different things you could do. But I do like the other aspects of prototyping and design. In the electrical, the mechanical, the um, sometimes the biomechanical, bioelectrical, stuff like that. I really like that framework too. But I've always kind of been a little more focused on the interface between the hardware and the software. But okay, so that was a random babble, but I think it'll definitely be fun to put together this app. I don't, right now I don't have the um, financial resources to outsource some of it that I would need to, like the graphics design and stuff like that. But I do have the time. um, while my time is getting, a little more and more taken, I guess. My schedule's getting a little more filled here and there, but I still have a lot of time that I can put towards trying to build this prototype, for my portfolio, so I can show people in my prototyping career, or people interested clients, what I can do. So I would definitely show it on here if I can, when I get to a certain point. Maybe I'll try to include a link in the bottom on some of the certificate programs that are out there. I might do a whole video on that at some point in time. because there's a lot of things you can go out there and do these nano degrees. There's places like edX. Um, I've done some I've done some Harvard and MIT courses through edX, and they're just simple courses that you can, if you can do just like what I like to do, just go through the material, or you can actually do the course, and they'll give you a certificate of completion from MIT or Harvard or some of these other, you know, um, higher end colleges. What do you want to call it? I don't know, what do they call it? I'll think of it some other time. But and then some just state colleges and stuff like that do this too, where they'll provide open source type educations where you can go through their old programs. And MIT is a big one on that too. They've got a whole, almost all their courses available online, and they're usually 3 or 4 years old, sometimes older than that. Um, but it's still relevant information. I mean, you can go and get the basic understanding and then go through and learn it again. Um, the open courses tend not to have a certificate program, or the nano degree as they call them. But there are a lot of stuff out there where you can get a nano degree in something. Um, and like what I was doing with the developer, they had, I think, 20 some odd courses that you could actually get nano degrees from. And like I said, with the edX program, there's other ones out there that I just can't think of at the moment. But you just imagine your resume. If I had put the effort into not just quickly going through it, which I do because I just want to get the knowledge so I can have a broader understanding of how things work. But if you went through and actually did the courses, I mean, I could have stuff on my resume from MIT and Harvard, and the Google. I mean, Google teaching you how to do Google Android apps, um, and all sorts of different certificates. But it's just amazing what you can do out there. And I think like that edX program, I think some of the certificate courses, the nano degree courses, were like $50 for the whole course. This one that I was just on, that had about 20 different ones from Google, Facebook, some state colleges, and several different, advanced courses on, robotics, AI, development, coding, a bunch of different computer information type stuff. It was a monthly fee if you went to the, where you can get the degree or the nano degree. And you could probably go through about 20 of those, in 2 or 3 years, maybe 4 years, and you're paying $100 and some odd a month for that. Um, I'm not much of a institutional learner, and so these little nano degrees I really like. And like I said, at some point in time, maybe I'll actually go back through the ones that I've completed and do them as an actual, get the nano degree from it. But I've never really been one to go towards the degrees and stuff. I don't know why. I'm weird like that. I just like to get the information so I can use it, and have a general understanding of how something works. I can have a better understanding of the bigger picture when it comes to my system architecture and my prototyping. So, yeah. I am going to try to go for a walk. It's kind of stormy today, but hopefully I don't get completely soaked or rained on. Wow. That's when you have a really big double chin, when it can move your necklace. Oh, sorry, random. Have a good one.